Ladies and gentlemen, today we present a proposal for a web-based payroll system for Centix Security and Investigation Agency Incorporated. Let us delve into the details. But first, let me introduce to you the proponents under this proposal. The first proponent is Mr. Mark Frodo Andres. The next is Miss Lucy May J. Del Rosario. The next is Miss Ira Gutierrez. And last one is Mr. Christopher Reyatasan. Centix Security and Investigation Agency Incorporated was established in the year 2017 with a capital stock of 5 million pesos. With over 200 security guards and the license to operate expiring in year 2021. The agency is permitted to have up to 400 security guards to serve clients nationwide. In terms of registration, the agency holds certifications from the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Bureau of Internal Revenue, Social Security System, Pag-ibig Fund, and PhilHealth. So their primary business focus is on providing specialized security services to ensure safety and protection for various establishments. Our proposal web-based payroll system aims to streamline and enhance the agency's payroll management processes. By implementing this system, we can improve efficiency, accuracy, and transparency in handling employee payroll data. In conclusion, the adoption of a web-based payroll system aligns with Centix Security and Investigation Agency Incorporated's commitment to excellence and operational readiness. It will undoubtedly contribute to the agency's overall effectiveness and success in serving and protecting its valued clients.
Good day everyone. My topic is all about payroll system, and again my name is Mark Frodo Andres, and here are my discussion: problem statement, project objective, project scope and limitations, and last is the significance of the studies. So let's start. And the first one is problem statement. Manual payroll system for all employees in different designated branches are difficult for the company payroll system for the reason that the process may have a failure of audit trails, which makes it hard to track changes, verify transactions, or conduct internal audits, potentially leading to dissatisfaction among employees and lessening the trust in the payroll. And this is the specific problem that we have to conduct or to receive from the study. And this is the first one. Failure audit trails may lead organization to collapse, track changes, and verify transaction. Without this proper documentation, it becomes challenging to track or to trace the payroll transaction and identifying the errors. And next is inability to conduct internal audits effectively because failed track and changes can affect and make the internal audit inefficient. Due to the inefficiency internal audits or inefficiency of internal audits, it is difficult to verify and complete the payroll, which reflects the inaccurate response of an audit. As a result, it becomes limited in its ability to perform to internal audits. So, the most significant disadvantage of depending on this kind of paper-based payroll system for workforce is the lack of an adequate audit trail. This record of all changes and transactions that have occurred with the system, Centix Security will struggle to track and change the payroll data if there's no digital audit trail in place. This lack of openness can cause, number of problems or several problems for the employees. Firstly, identifying and verifying payroll transaction becomes a major challenge. Without a clear record of changes, it's nearly impossible to determine if it's edit to pay rates, overtime hours, deduction were made correctly. This can lead to errors in employee paychecks, mispayments, or even potential, fraud. Secondly, the absence of audit trail significantly hinders the effectiveness of internal audits. Auditors rely on document history to ensure payroll process are followed correctly and identify any lack in the payroll system with this kind of manual system. For the last, auditors have a limited ability to perform through reviews, potentially leading to inaccurate or incomplete audits because of manual computing. But I'm not telling that this is wrong, but this lack of trust in the payroll system due to the lack of transparency, the most important thing, can ultimately lead to again and again dissatisfaction among employees. So this is the next one is project objective. Design and implement an automated payroll system for a company to replace the existing manual payroll process. The system aims to address the inefficiencies and inaccurate associated with manual computation, ensuring timely and accurate payment of salaries to employees across a different designated location. This company objective and decision is to implement an automated payroll system is a strategic move to address several pain points in their current manual process. The new system promises to eliminate tedious manual calculation and data entry, significantly reducing the risk of errors and delays in employee paychecks. By automating salary calculation with factors like rates, allowances, overtime, and deduction, the system streamlines the process and ensure timely and accurate payments across all locations. Additionally, into consolidating employee payroll data into a single system improves accessibility and consistency, while a user-friendly interface simplifies the data of the management for admin or that they call HR personnel. This, along with robust security measure and user training, creates a more efficient, reliable, and secure payroll system for the company. So here's the project scope and limitations. Project scope and limitations. This study is dedicated to the employees of Centrix Security and Investigation Agency Incorporated, with the aim of designing and implementing a customized payroll system to streamline their payment process. This here is the scope. The aim of proposed payroll system for Centric Security Investigation Agency Incorporated is to optimize the management of payroll for employee regardless of their position and departments. Users will enter their admin name and password on the login screen before being able to access the dashboard. And options on dashboard include monitoring payroll, adding personnel, examining records, and logging out. With a save option for data preservation, add employee lets you to enter an information of an employee, including name, account number or employee number, birth date, and employment date. User may view records to search and query employee data, making it easier to add or remove information as they needed. The payroll section offers choices to save, print, or delete, and as an entry, as well as the ability to calculate the wages based on their overtime and rates and hours rates and hours of work. It also automatically generates account numbers. User may simply log out after finishing a job and go back to the login dashboard to access it. Access it later or the next days or few minutes throughout the payroll in process. Our all-inclusive solution guarantees data correctness and user-friendly functionality while meeting the unique demands of the organization. So, here's our limitation. The project will not have to cope with integrating with the company's other current systems, such as HR management software. The timeline for the project might be affected by unforeseen technical difficulties or infrastructure setup delays. Additionally, it is important to note that the project only focuses on technological side of automation payroll operation. It does not involve implementing payroll regulations or procedures. Moreover, this project will not handle any modification to corporate rules or stationary laws that arise after the automated system is put into place. This and Centrix Security and Investigation Agency Incorporated is getting a new payroll system to automate their employee payment process. This is user-friendly, will offer functionalities like managing payrolls for all employees and adding new hires, viewing and editing employee records, and calculating wages based on rates and on their overtime and work of hours that they do. It ensures data accuracy throughout the process with features like saving data, printing payslips, or in generating unique account numbers. Importantly, the system caters to the specific needs of Centrix Security without needing to integrate with their existing HR software, which is they don't have HR software. So next is Weber. There are limitations that we can consider on this project. The project timeline might be impacted by technical challenges or some delays to create this systematic infrastructure of designing the system. It is crucial to it is crucial to remember that this system focuses solely on technological side of payroll automation. It won't handle implementing payroll regulations or procedures from the company, and nor will adopt the future legal changes from the company. This aspect will need to be addressed separately. In significance of the studies, the employees to improve their accuracy, timeliness of payment lead to greater job satisfaction. 2. Financial security for employees, enhancing their overall well-being and morale. Additionally, streamlined process reduce payroll-related stress and errors, allowing employees to focus more on their work. To the students will gain a deep understanding of a payroll process, regulations, and best practices, which can serve as foundation for future studies or careers in accounting, finance, human resource, or business management. Moreover, involvement in developing system design provides students with a practical experience in problem solving, project management, and collaboration, preparing them for real world challenges in their careers. This project offers significant benefits to the both centrics um, employees and the student involved in this development. For employees, the automated payroll system will ensure greater accuracy and timeliness in receiving their paychecks. This translates to increased job satisfaction and financial security, ultimately boosting employee morale and well-being. And this project also holds great significance for the student because they will gain valuable knowledge and practical experience through this project. They will develop a deep understanding of payroll system, regulation, and best practices, which will serve as strong foundation for the future or for the future studies or careers for accounting, finance, human resource, or business management. Furthermore, this participation in designing the system will provide them with hands-on experience in problem solving, project management, and collaboration skills, all highly sought after qualities in today's job market.
Everyone, I'm Christopher Atasan. Now let's talk about our system flowchart. So here on our system flowchart, we have the starting point or the beginning of our system. In this part, the administrator now trying to connect with our system. And when the user want to connect with our system, it will appear a login screen. So on the login screen, the administrator will put the username, password that provided by the company for them. And after that, the administrator can now see our dashboard panel, including the top bar that we provided. Inside of our system, we have the main functionality, which are the dashboard, add employee, view records, view payroll, and also the logout. If the administrator want to add employees, they can simply click the employees on our dashboard and they can perform the adding of the employees on that page. They will simply add employees information and save the employees data. If they want to view records, they can execute that by clicking the view icon and now they can search and query employees data. If they want to see the payroll, they will basically click the payroll on our dashboard and they can view the payroll data. And if they want to log out, they will only click the logout symbol on our system and they will automatically log out. Now, next one, let's talk about our context diagram. Here in our context diagram, the payroll management system is the core of our system. It's serving as the central hub for all payrolls related activities. Next one is the employee. We're located on the right side. Employees interact with the system to request information about their payroll. When employee submits a request, the system processes it and provides a response, ensuring that employees have easy access to their payroll details. Next is the agency. Agency also interact with our system to gather information. When an agency requests data from our system, it processes the request and provides the necessary information. This interaction streamlines communication between our system and agency, facilitating efficient data exchange. Next is the agency database. The system interface access with the agency database located at the top part of the diagram. This interaction involves exchanging relevant information between our system and the agency database, ensuring data accuracy and consistency. Next one is the payroll database. Similarly, the system interacts with the payroll database situated at the bottom part of our diagram. This interaction involves accessing and updating payroll-related data, ensuring that the system operates with the latest and most accurate information. And for overall, the context diagram that we made, it illustrates the keys, interactions, and connection between the payroll management system that we made with the employees, agencies, and database involved. It highlights how our system serves as the central platform for managing payroll activities and facilitating seamless communication and data exchange with the both employees and external entities. Now, let's talk about our DFD or the data flow diagram. Here, as you can see here on our data flow diagram, the administrator, after they do the login, the administrator now can see our main functionality, which are the dashboard, add an employee. After that, when the administrator want to add an employee, then they provided the employees data. It will automatically store on our employees database, which is the employees data. When the administrator want to view those datas that they provided on adding or the add functionality, they can view it by calling out the employees data on our database. And now they can see the employees data. And if they don't want to do anything, they can do the logout, or if they want to delete it, the specific employees, they can delete it and it will automatically deleted on our database. Now let's talk about
Also
our
connected with the
ERD or
payroll.
on the payroll.
Entity
As I said,
relationship
on the employee
diagram.
database, the attendance will be the one who distinguish the total salary that the employee will get on the semi-month or full month. Because on our company they're on our basis. So if the employee committing absences, late, it will automatically deduct to their salary. Also, one of the reason why we call the attendance on our payroll, because on our payroll we need to know the total hours worked with the employees in a semi-monthly or monthly. Now, let's talk about the employee. Here on employee, it contains of ID, employee number, first name, middle name, last name, department ID, position ID, salary, and email. And now let's talk about the relationship of employees to all our databases. First is the on the department. Yes, on the department. The reason why it is connected with the department, because upon filling those text field on adding employees on our system, they will encounter the department. Here, they will distinguish what part of the department that employees belong. So after that, they can put the that employees on the department. Like for example, if that employees belong to the HR, they can choose the HR on the toggle bar, or even on the IT or accounting. Next one is the position. After defining the department of the employee, they can now put the position of that specific employees on that department. And lastly is the email. The reason why we need the email here for the employee, because we will be we will be using the email upon sending our invoice mail on those employees. Next is the allowances. On the allowances, the main allowances contains of ID, allowance, and description. Here on our allowances database, it only defines the what kind of allowances that the company provide for that specific employee. So it, it is the description of the allowances. So it is not about the total or the total allowance that the company provided for them, but the description of allowances. And the relationship of this allowances database on other database. First, on the payroll items, we need these allowances because it will define what kind of allowances that the company provides when we do the calculation of for the total salary. This is the description of the allowances. Next, for the payroll. For the payroll, it will pop up on the invoice paycheck that we'll be sending on email, the specific allowances that the company provided on that specific employees. After that is the employees allowances. Here in the employee allowances, it is now about the total amount that the company provided for that specific employees. The relationship of the employee allowances on other database first on the payroll, it will now show the total amount of allowances that provides by the company for that specific employees. Also, for the payroll items, it is needed because when we do calculation, we will be adding those allowances to their salary. Next one is the employee. It is connected also with the employee because it will define um, the specific employees that will be that the company will be putting allowances. After that is the deduction. Here on the deduction, as same as the allowances, it is the description of what kind of deduction will the company will be deducted on that employees. And next one is the employees deduction. Here is the amount that we will be deducted on that specific employees. The connection of employees deduction with the other database first on the payroll items. The reason why we need this because it will deducted on the total salary of the employees. Next one, employees deduction to the payroll database. It will show how much deduction that specific employees get on that specific month. It will show on our invoice paycheck that we will be sending through the email. And also it is connected with the deduction because we need to define or we need to describe what kind of deduction we will be putting on that specific employees. After that is the payroll. As I said earlier, the payroll is about it is define this for our invoice or invoice paycheck that we'll be sending on our email. So our payroll contains of the table ID, rep number, date from, date to, type, status, and date created. And now let's talk about the relationship of payroll to other databases. So the payroll is connected with the attendance because on our invoice that we will be sending to those employees through email, we'll be need to put the specific date that employee started on that specific month and what is the coverage or the span of the employees work on that specific month. So after that, it is also connected with the allowances, deductions, payroll items for the calculations, employees, and also with the employees deduction and employees allowances. Now let's talk about the payroll items. Here, as I said earlier, it is for our calculation. The payroll items will do the calculation for the total salary of the employees. The payroll items contains of ID, payroll ID, employee ID, present, absent, late, salary, allowances amount, allowances, deduction amount, deductions, net, and date created. The relationship of these payroll items to other database, I mean, first for the payroll, it will show the total salary, total allowances, and total deduction that will the company will be putting on that specific allowance employees on the invoice paycheck. Next, for the employees allowances, it will define the total amount of the total allowance that the employees will get, deductions, the description of deductions, the allowances, the description of allowances, the employees deduction, the total deducted for to the salary of that employees, of course, the employee itself, and the attendance. And last is the user. The reason the users contain of ID, um, Doctor ID, name, address, contact, username, password, type. So the reason why we need this user database because it is needed for the login interface. When the administrator try to log in on our system, And if the data that the input on the login interface is not on is not in store on our database, it will pop up a error validation that saying that the username or email is not on our database or incorrect. So basically, this user interface is for our interface, and that's all for my presentation. And thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Ira May Gutierrez and I will be discussing our concepts to the task activity network, changeover timetable, Gantt chart, and system prototype. So first, let's go to task activity network. These tools help us visualize the sequence of tasks in our project. And for our project, which involves the developing of our system for Centix company, we have divided the task into several stages, such as planning, gathering data, analysis, and designing. So first, let's go to planning stage. We do this on March 1 to March 9. First is we gather members for the project system on March 1 to March 2. Second is we create a recommendation letter for Centix company on March 3 and March 4. On March 5, we are signing the recommendation by the student. And on March 6, we are submitting the recommendation to Mr. Fernandez. And for March 7 to 9 is we submit recommendation to the company, and we also talk with the HR officer, which is Miss Michelle A. Quinto. And for the gathering data stage, we do this on March 9 to 13. So on March 9 is we company visit, and we did the interview of the accounting head. We also surveyed the company's need for the system until March 12. And we create a project proposal on March 13. Let's proceed to the analysis stage from March 9 to March 13. On March 9 to 10 is we analyze the company's statement of the problem. And on March 13, we create the SOP as part of the project proposal. And we also review the flow of transaction of the company. So let's proceed to the designing stage, which is from March 11 to 21. On March 11 and 12 is we brainstorm for the web-based language. And from March 14 to 16 is we design the initial prototype of the system. After that is we brainstorm for the code structure of the system. And we also pick the theme of the system. And on March 17 to 19 is we code the front end using HTML and CSS. And from the back end, we use PHP. So from March 20 is we setting the buttons of the system. We also set the background of the system. And for the March 20 to 21 is we code the function of the system. Hello everyone. The next I will be explaining is the changeover time schedule within the context of our project's task activity network. So this schedule helps us to manage the transition times between tasks to ensure our project runs smoothly and efficiently. So the first task is the planning stage is gathering members for the project system, which is scheduled for March 1 and 2. After completing this task, we transition to creating the recommendation letter for the Centix company. So the changeover time for this transition is 1 day, because from March 2 to March 3 is the task of creating the recommendation letter, which is scheduled for March 3 and 4. So once the recommendation letter is created, we move to the recommendation letter by the student. So this transition has a changeover time of 1 day, from March 4 to March 5, and the signing is done on March 5. So after the letter is signed, we transition to submitting the recommendation to Mr. Fernandez on March 6, with no changeover time needed since it happens on the same day. So following the submission to Mr. Fernandez, we proceed to submitting the recommendation to the company, which is scheduled from March 7 to 9. So the changeover time for this transition is 1 day also, because it is from March 6 to March 7. So finally, within the planning stage, we transition to talking to Ms. Michelle A. Quinto, the HR officer, on March 9, with no changeover time as it happens on the same day. So the gathering data stage begins with the company visit on March 9. On the same day, we transition to interviewing the accounting head. So after interviewing the accounting head, we moved directly to surveying the company's needs for the system from March 9 to 12. And following the survey, we transitioned to creating the project proposal on March 13. And while creating the project proposal, my initial check of the proposal are ongoing to ensure quality alignment. And during the analysis stage, the first task is to analyze the computer standard operating procedures on March 9 to 10. And after completing this task, we transition to creating the SOP as part of the project proposal on March 13 with a change time with 3 days from March 10 to March 13. So reviewing the flow of transaction of the company takes place on March 9. So this review is followed with a transition to creating the SOP as a part of the project proposal on March 13. So in designing stage, we start the designing initial prototype of the system from March 14 to 16. So this is immediately followed by brainstorming for the code structure of the system on March 16. And prior to this, we have also brainstorming from the web-based language schedule from March 11 to 12. So after completing this task, we transition to brainstorming for the code structure of the system on March 16. And the coding of the front end, which we use HTML and CSS, takes place from March 17 to 19. And following this, we transition to setting buttons of the system on March 20. And similarly, the coding of the backend, which we use PHP, also happens on March 17 and 19, followed by the setting of the background of the system on March 20. And then we pick the theme of the system on March 16, transitioning immediately to setting the background of the system on the same day. So we also set the buttons of the system that happens on March 20, transitioning to setting the background. And after setting the background on March 20, we immediately focus on the coding of the function of the system starting March 20 up to March 21. So hello everyone, the next one is the Gantt chart. The Gantt chart is the tool for visualizing our project schedule. It provides a clear timeline for each task, showing their start and end dates and help us monitor the progress. So here is, you will see the Gantt chart will illustrate tasks across the 4 stages, highlighting overlaps and dependencies. And for instance, our planning stage tasks are scheduled from March 1 to March 9. Our gathering data stage runs from March 9 to March 13. And for the analysis stage, it's overlapped slightly with the gathering data stage from March 9 to March 13. And on the designing stage, spans from March 11 to March 31 with several tasks overlapping to optimize time. So the next one is, let's talk about our system prototype. Prototyping is an essential step in system development because it is allow us to create an early model of the system to visualize and test its functionality before a full-scale development. So hi everyone, as you can see here is our system prototype, which you can see the login page. You will enter your username and password, and after that is you will click the login. On the dashboard is you will see the add employee, view records and payroll. So when you click the add employee, you will see the name, account number, birthday, hire date that you will put the data or information of the employee here. And when you click the add employee, it will proceed on the records. So when you click the view records, you will see the information or the data that you put in, which is the account number. For example, the account number you entered is 123. The name is De La Cruz 1. So in this view records, you can also see the salary of this employee, but you can edit or delete some information such as the account number or the name of the employee. Next one is the payroll. When you click the payroll on our system, you will see the name, hours work of the employee. You can see here also the overtime, and you will just enter the account number of the employee. You will see here the print, which is you will print or just serves it as the pay slip of the employee. And if you wish just to save this information, just click the save. And if you want to discard it, just click the cancel. So we also have a search bar. For example, you search the account number of the employee, which is 123, and then you click search. The information of the account number, which is includes to one, his information will appear here, such as his account number, which is 123, his name, which is De La Cruz 1, and its salary. And when you're finished on our system, and when you're finished using our system, just click the log out. And that's all. Thank you.